Hi there, and welcome to this episode of the Guns Magazine podcast. I'm your host and the editor of Guns Magazine, Brent Wheat. Thanks for joining us here on one of the world's biggest gun talk programs as we chat with the interesting folks who make up the world of shooting. Well, the interesting person today is Buzz Mills. He's well known as the owner of Gunsite Academy. He's also a member of the NRA Board of Directors. Buzz has been one of the leaders of the reform movement, trying to take the NRA out of the hands of the shadowy cabal, led by Wayne LaPierre, and back to the hands of the members, and doing the good work of supporting the Second Amendment and shooters. So we're going to talk to Buzz about the upcoming election and who he thinks you should vote for, and we'll get to that in just a second, right after we have a new sponsor on board, Armasight. Step up your game with Armasight's cutting-edge thermal and night vision monoculars. Built for hunters, tactical pros, and outdoor enthusiasts who demand clarity and reliability in any environment. Discover the performance and durability trusted by hunters and professionals worldwide. Gear up now at Armasight.com. Stop looking, start seeing. And now on with the show as we talk to Buzz Mills about the NRA's upcoming election.
Good morning.
Good morning, Buzz. How are you out in Arizona?
I'm good, and all of the Eagles fans are great.
Yeah, we were saying before we got started that your wife is a big Eagles fan, so she had a pretty good day on Sunday.
Oh, she is. She was just thrilled. You know, she was jumping up and down. It was like a kid, like a 3-year-old at Christmas.
Well, let's talk about the NRA and
Okay.
This topic. I've gotten several cards and letters lately, folks
Good.
asking about who they should vote for in the NRA elections, which the ballot, I believe, just came out.
Yeah.
And you've been a well-known reform person with the NRA, trying to fix some of the stuff that most of us agree wasn't right, other than the few defenders of the old regime. But you've got a good slate of folks that you support, and you came by SHOT Show, and unfortunately, because schedules, we didn't get a chance to talk. But today we're going to do that, and we're going to talk about the folks that you think folks should elect to the NRA board. So give me kind of your opinion of where the NRA stands at this moment. With there's some old guard, there's some new guard. Where are we today?
Okay. Right now, everybody's aware of all the history of the NRA and all the good things we've done over the years, and education and training and Second Amendment advocacy and so forth and so on. So everybody's aware of that. I won't have to cover that, but that is why we want to reform the NRA, because all of that stuff went by the wayside in order to have the funds to support the litigation effort that went on for 6-7 years. And so while we burned through the money, and when LaPierre was still there, he destroyed the staff. You know, when you say decimate means reduced by 10%. So actually, he reduced the staff by more than 50%.
Wow.
And so that's why we don't have the programs, and is because we were funding the litigation. All right. So people ask me all the time, so, well, who should I vote for? Who should I vote for? Well, let me give you the reason why you should vote for the people I ask you to vote for. And the reason is, it goes back to the trial. You know, there was, and the judge recognizes this all throughout his decision that he rendered on July 29th of 24. There was an entrenched senior members of the board that instead of protecting the NRA, chose to circle the wagons around Wayne LaPierre and protected him rather than protecting the NRA from mismanagement. And the judge recognizes this, and he calls that out. So those people that were involved in that, who are identified throughout the judge's decision. Let me see. What else does the judge say here? He says even the press release discussing the jury's verdict was misleading, and times wholly inaccurate. The old guard, the old leadership, those folks that rallied around Wayne and were elected to leadership positions in throughout this time period, lied to us about just about everything. They not only lied to the directors, but lied to the public about all of the litigation. We were involved in 22 litigations over this 6-year period.
Wow.
Believe it or not, and our officers never did tell us the truth about any of that. They lied to us about the bankruptcy, about the litigation with AgMag, with Chris Cox, under Wild Skies, and on and on and on. So the NRA and Brewer and attorneys went 0 for 22. They lost everything.
No kidding. Wow.
But
Amazing.
the leadership kept telling us that we won. So that we have got to replace those people, and that is why. And that's why we have to replace them. And so if you go to our website, is it all right to say that?
Yeah, absolutely.
www.electanewNRA.com. www.electanewNRA.com. We have pictures, and did you get your NRA magazine with the pictures of our
Yes.
candidates in it? Okay,
Yep.
So you notice that on one page you had 14 candidates, and on the right side you had 14 candidates, and in the middle was the ballot package. So if you pull your ballot package out, you've got it right there. And those 14 people, again, if you go to the website, www.electanewNRA.com, if you go there, you'll see the same pictures. And the website is pretty extensive because if you click on one of those pictures of one of our candidates, it will take you to a bio. And in this bio, these were written by these people, and they tell you who they are, where they are, what they've done for the NRA, why they want to be on the board, and how they propose to help us repair the NRA and get back to our former glory. And so that for every candidate that's in there, we've got 28 of them, and we need you to vote for 28 candidates because we have 28 seats. And we also have 16 of these old guard people that coalesced, if you will, around Wayne LaPierre to protect him. Didn't give a damn about the NRA. And the NRA just, this case, like most cases, we went for 6 years. That could have been settled 3 or 4 or 5 years ago. It could have been settled because the big thing in this case was Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York. She said when she was running for election that she was going to destroy the NRA. And so the number one item on her menu of things she wanted was the dissolution of the NRA. Well, in March of 22, this judge really, he wasn't anti-gun. He was a fair guy. And he said, no, he took dissolution off the table. He said, we're not going to dissolve the NRA. There's 5 million members, and they do a lot of good things, and we're not going to dissolve that. So that's off the table. And then we went from there. But at that point, that was the point where a businessman, myself, I would have gone in and said, okay, guys, look, let's sit down and talk about this and see if we can't reach an accommodation here. But we could have gotten the same deal then that we got from the judge 4 years later, or 2 years later, in July 29th of 24. At any rate, and saved millions of dollars in legal fees. Well, that brings us to today. So we want now, where we have the success that my group has achieved to date. We elected the 4 for Reform last year, which was 4 guys that came on board, think like I do, and I was able to put together enough existing members, honest guys and gals, and we were able to elect 3 of the 4 main officers. We elected 2 vice presidents and replaced Wayne LaPierre with a fellow named Doug Hamlin, who had been running the publications division at NRA. And he is clean. He is clean as a whistle. He's a former Marine officer. He's been in publications with Peterson. Just a world of experience. And is the only department in the NRA that consistently, year after year after year, had a positive budget. And that was publications, advertising, that sort of thing. So we elected him EVP. We put in 2 new vice presidents. And that was in May 20th of last year at the annual meeting in Dallas. And since then, he has replaced all of the senior staff, all of the directors at ILA, at advancement, at general operations, and immediate supporting staff under them. So we've replaced those people. We've turned all of that around. Now, if you get to 2025, we just finished up the lawsuit. We've got the litigation behind us. We've paid off the attorney. That's all done. All right. So now we've got a little money to play with, not to play with, to put to work for the members. And so this money has allowed us to project to hire this year 20 people in the operations, general operations. And what they're going to go to is education, training, and competitions. We're going to plug these people in there, and they are going to start these activities back up again. And so we're starting. We're already starting. What we need now is we need to purge the board. Well, there's 15, I think it's 15 members of, I call it the cabal, which is the group that coalesced around Wayne and to protect him. But we have to unseat 15 of these people, which we can do. We unseated last year. We unseated 2 past presidents that were part of it, and a couple of other people. So and then we put in the fellows that ran for reform, and we ran these guys on petition, and then had a pretty good campaign through social media, and elected these guys. Out of the 4 guys that ran on petition, 3 of them finished in the top 5. Really pissed me off. Because I was up for election, and I always finished 2nd or 3rd. Bumped me to number 7. But 3 of these guys were in the top 5, if you can believe that. That's just fabulous. And the 4th one came in 12th out of 25. So that was a great campaign. Well, this year we have taken that campaign that we did for 4. I helped these guys all the way through. I used to tell people it's my own fault that I got bumped to number 7, because I used to tell people, just vote for these guys, don't vote for me. I always get enough votes to make it, And so, but we were successful there. So we're running the same kind of campaign now, except a lot bigger in our social media. We're doing a lot more social media. We're doing a lot more email campaign. We're mailing more than 1 million people every week, all gun owners. They're all good addresses, and getting lots of calls and lots of questions. People calling and asking questions and so forth. So there's a lot of interest. There's a lot of people that say, well, why should I vote for these guys? Well, go to the website, and there's some opposition research in there that talks more about this in depth than what I just spoke of. Plus, there's individual directors that were involved in the lawsuit, involved in other activities in support of Wayne, and there's a lot. So there's a lot of stuff on there. And if you want to know something, go there, www.electanewNRA.com, and you can find out about our group, NRA 2.0, we call it, and it'll be you go through there, check out our information, and why you ought to vote for our folks. and you will. You will. They're great people.
Excellent. Now, it sounds to me like you've made a lot of good progress, and that's kind of the thing when people are talking about NRA, folks are kind of skeptical of, I want to see some changes. And it sounds like you guys are doing that, yes. Hiring people in operations. Yes. Do you feel like if this election goes the way you hope it does, you think this is going to close the chapter, an ugly chapter in the history of the NRA?
I think it will. I really do. I think it will because, everything, we do everything for the members. I have been preaching this. I've been on the board for a number of years, and this is all about the members. And if the members will get behind this team, we have got it will probably not 100% close it. We're still going to have a dozen or so of these cabal members we're going to have to purge, but it'll take time because we replace 1/3 every year in on the board. 25, 25, 25. This year's 28 because we have to replace some people that passed away and resigned and so forth. Yes, we're already getting back. Now that we've got the litigation behind us and that expense, we're putting that right back into programs. So the people that are sitting out there watching, saying, "Well, not another dime," and so forth and so on. And I'm not. They used to say, "Not until LaPierre's gone." Well, he's been gone for a year now, and so it's time to pony up, guys. You got a good bunch of people in here leading the charge, and you've got a bunch of good candidates. And so we need your support. We need your support again. Come back and participate. Be part of just a fabulous thing that we're doing, particularly for kids. When I was a kid, I learned how to shoot and NRA sponsored matches in the Scouts and in junior high school and in high school. When I was a kid in high school, we used to take a 22 to school with us. So, it was a different country, as Jeff Cooper says.
Yeah.
But the youth, that there's so much that a youngster learns in shooting. They learn responsibility, and just so much that'll serve them in good stead for a lifetime.
Exactly. So just to clarify, so all the litigation related to the organization itself and fiduciary mismanagement, that's done, right?
Yes, sir. That's all done, complete. The judge issued his final statement December the 11th. And there were, other than, back earlier last year, LaPierre and Woody Phillips and the other two, Frazier, and the last name escapes me. Anyway, they were all sanctioned, and LaPierre was ordered to pay $5 million back to the NRA. He did that last month, so he paid the money back. And so, yes, all of it's behind us. We're in full compliance. We've done everything the judge asked us to do. And that's on that NRA Legal Facts, if you go there. But that's everything has been done. We're in full compliance with the law of New York, and we're moving ahead.
Well, my next question is, it's related to the political action side of the NRA. For a long time, and Wayne did a lot of bad, but they were, under his watch, the NRA really became a major player in the national political scene, and that's been one of the things missing over the last couple of years is not really taking part in national elections. So do you feel like once you get these reform candidates, is the NRA going to be quite as invested in the political action side of things, or do you feel like most folks want to just focus on support of the shooting sports?
No, our Second Amendment advocacy. We weren't in that in 1968, and we end up getting our ass handed to us with GCA 68. And after that, the NRA got into this more and more as time went on. So right now, we're still involved in quite a bit. We just did the Vulo case, which was a First Amendment case, and we won that unanimously in the Supreme Court. The Bruin case, which started in New York and was funded completely by the NRA, we won that. And then you got Miller, and you got all these cases going back. Yes, we are still involved in that stuff. We're still working that with a reduced staff. But ILA has got a separate funding. They have had donors year after year because it's a separate organization, really. Institute for Legislative Action, NRA ILA. And so we've got a new guy in there, and he is a hard-charging, aggressive young man that's going to see us really proud. He's been there for about 12 years, and it was time for him to move up. And Doug moved him up. We're going to be into that, into the advocacy, Second Amendment, with increasing fury, if you will. We spent $30 million in 2016 electing Trump. We didn't have the money to spend in 2020, and maybe that's why it came out the way it did. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, $30 million, while it doesn't sound like a lot of money, it made a dent. It made a dent. It doesn't. When I say $30 million, doesn't sound like a lot of money in a political campaign.
Right.
Kamala spent $1.5 billion in like 11 weeks and lost it all. So that's why I say 30 million doesn't sound like much.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, we're going to be in that, and we're already in that. We're already working cases now, and but it doesn't make any difference where you go, whether it's federal or state. When the NRA shows up, they listen to us. People notice. It's the elephant in the room. The other organizations do a fine job, and I support some of them. But they never have had the ability to walk in the room and everybody just shuts up like the NRA does.
Exactly.
We need that gorilla. We need the members. We need to fund that. We need to get that going, because everybody thinks that, oh well, Trump's in office, we're safe now. No, we're not. The opportunity that we have right now with Trump is an executive order is only good right now for 4 years, and so if we need to codify all these executive orders. We need to get them through Congress, make that the law of the land, so that it is increasingly difficult to change. You can't do it with the stroke of a pen, like Biden did when he came in. All the good stuff that Trump did by executive order, he just wiped it all out. So Trump's done a lot of good with executive order. We need to get that stuff written into legislation.
Exactly. And like you said, the Second Amendment community needs that gorilla, and that was the NRA for a long time. So I think almost everybody feels that way, that regardless of the problems of the NRA, if they're truly cleaned up, and you and a lot of folks are working that direction, it can be restored to its former glory, to where, like you said, that when they walk in the room, the anti-Second Amendment forces go, oh, great, now they're here. So hopefully with your slate of candidates, we can get there. And what was that website again?
www.electanewNRA.com.
And we'll definitely put a link and promote all that so we can support the NRA. It's funny, I've talked with some of the senior leadership. They weren't very happy with some of our coverage, and frankly, I don't have a problem with that, because criticism needed to be leveled. But in the end, what some folks maybe didn't understand, we completely, wholeheartedly support an effective and well-managed NRA. So I can get behind this effort, and I know everybody that works here does. So we want to see that happen. So before we get done here, though, of course, Buzz Mills is the owner of world-famous Gunsite Academy, and I haven't had your CEO, Ken Campbell, on in a while, but it's been an exciting time over the last year for Gunsite, and if you haven't been there in a while, you wouldn't recognize the place. So talk a little bit about what you got going on.
People just keep showing up. And that's wonderful. That's wonderful because what the great thing about it is, we get all of these new gun owners coming in. You get millions of new gun owners every year, and people that didn't grow up like we did, you and I, around guns and the outdoors and so forth. But with the illegal alien situation, the crime situation, the way it is in the country, even the lefties, people are on the left side of the center, are getting concerned, and they're buying firearms, and they come to Gunsite for training. I've been a Second Amendment guy all my life, and I've always said, that my carry permit is on the wall. It says Constitution. Mm-hmm. And so that's my gun permit, But the Second Amendment, fabulous. But as with all rights, come responsibilities, and driving in the right, it's a privilege, but you have responsibilities there. But with a right, I think you have more serious responsibilities, and so you owe it to yourself and your family and to the public to get trained, because it's an inherently dangerous avocation, and you should you need to treat it with respect, just like all rights.
Exactly. Well, one thing I forgot to ask is, when does voting close for NRA members?
Okay, the ballot has to be in by April the 6th. April the 6th. So we're going to have, I want to come back with you, mid-March.
Okay.
Because the way the voting historically has gone, the way it's all historically gone, you have a big bump when the ballots first come out now for a couple of weeks, and then it levels off, and then it picks back up again towards the end. So people they're gonna start saying, well, what magazine am I looking for? It's the one with vote on the front. But
exactly.
Because all the magazine covers are different. If the official journals are American Rifleman, American Hunter, America's First Freedom, and Shooting Illustrated. So the ballots come in each one, but they're each one is individually packaged. The advertisement I was telling you about, who to vote for, that is not in a magazine that doesn't have a ballot. So it doesn't go to a voting member.
Right.
So that's the one says vote on the front.
Excellent. Well, Buzz Mills, the owner of Gunsite Academy, an NRA board member, and one of the leading proponents of fixing the NRA, and we certainly wish you success in that. So folks need to check out that advertisement or that website that gives the 28 candidates that Buzz supports and wants to see on the NRA board. And hopefully we won't be talking about the dark chapter in the NRA and just talking about the great stuff that it does for the Second Amendment community. So once again, Buzz Mills, we appreciate you coming on, and we'll have you on again before that voting closes.
Thank you, Brent. I appreciate the time. I appreciate your dedication to the NRA. Thank you.
I appreciate Buzz Mills stopping by and offering his support for a slate of candidates that hopefully will take the NRA in a new and better direction. Before we go, a couple of quick things. First of all, if you're looking to subscribe to any of our magazines, especially Guns Magazine, or you want to buy one of our books, check out fmgpubs.com. You can get Roy Huntington's new Insider and John Connor's Odd Angry Shot and a lot of other great things. And that's fmgpubs.com. Also, don't forget our new sponsor, Armasight. Step up your game with Armasight's cutting-edge thermal and night vision monoculars. Built for hunters, tactical pros, and outdoor enthusiasts who demand clarity and reliability in any environment. Discover their performance and durability trusted by hunters and professionals worldwide. Gear up now at Armasight.com. Stop looking, start seeing. Well, that's it for this episode of the Guns Magazine podcast. On behalf of everybody that works so hard here at FMG Publications, I'm Guns Magazine editor Brent Wheat. Once again, reminding you, now get out there and get shooting.